Jong Suk and IU, the explosive marriage that shook Kbiz. Whispers turned into headlines. And headlines ignited a firestorm. What could possibly make this union so intense, so shocking, that it rattled the entire Korean entertainment world? Join Red Carpet Revealed as we uncover the truth and dive deep into the story right now. The entertainment world is no stranger to shocking headlines. Even in an industry that thrives on spectacle, nothing could have prepared fans for the storm that erupted the morning the news broke. Jong Suk and IU had tied the knot. No quiet whispers. No slow build-up, just a full-blown announcement that landed like a lightning strike in the heart of Kbiz. It started with a single, unassuming press release issued just after dawn. The message was short, almost too simple for the magnitude of what it contained. We are happy to share that Jong Suk and IU have entered into marriage, pledging their futures to one another. Thank you for your love and support. That was all. Lavish description of a ceremony. No intimate photos. Just those few words that immediately set the internet ablaze. Within minutes, hashtags like Jong IU, wedding of the year, and explosive marriage were trending in multiple countries. News networks interrupted scheduled programming to cover the story. Online forums that usually dissected K-drama plotlines now turned their full attention to the real-life romance playing out before them. Part of the shock lay in how carefully both stars had guarded their private lives. IU, beloved singer-songwriter and actress, known for her warmth and down-to-earth charm, had long been the nation's little sister. Her public image so clean that even harmless dating rumors were treated with protective fervor by fans. Jong Suk, meanwhile, had cemented his place as one of Korea's most charismatic leading men. His brooding eyes and commanding screen presence earning him a massive international following. Yes, there had been rumors. Grainy photographs of the two at an airport abroad. The odd social media post that fans swore contained hidden messages. And a suspicious alignment of schedules in overseas events. But both IU and Jong Suk had always sidestepped the questions, neither confirming nor denying, leaving shippers to live in a perpetual state of maybe. And then, out of nowhere, marriage. Shock quickly gave way to curiosity. And curiosity to obsession. What had happened behind the scenes to lead to this moment? Was it a whirlwind romance? Or had they been secretly nurturing this relationship for years? And most importantly, why was everyone calling it an explosive marriage? The first clues came not from the couple themselves. Those who had been present at the private wedding, held in absolute secrecy at a luxury villa in Jeju Island. The event was said to have been intimate yet emotionally intense. Spoke, off the record, about a ceremony that felt less like a scripted showbiz affair and more like an unfiltered outpouring of love, passion, and raw emotion. One insider claimed that Jong Suk's vows left half the room in tears, his voice cracking as he promised to protect her dreams as fiercely as my own. IU's vows, in turn, were said to have made even the stoic family elder smile through their tears. She reportedly told him, "You are my song when I can't sing, and my voice when I can't speak." The intensity of their connection that day was, by all accounts, palpable. But alongside the romance was an undercurrent of fire, an energy that seemed to radiate from the couple. It was as though their union wasn't just about love, about defying every expectation, every boundary the industry had placed around them. That, perhaps, is where the word explosive began to take root. When the wedding photos eventually leaked, grainy, taken from a distance, they didn't show the usual poised elegance of celebrity weddings. Instead, they captured laughter so unrestrained it looked like release, embraces so tight they seemed to pull the air from the space between them, and even a candid moment where Jong Suk dipped IU back in a kiss that could have been pulled straight from the climax of a drama. Fans reacted with a mix of awe and disbelief. "Isn't it polite? PR-managed marriage," one fan wrote. "This is love that's alive, fierce, and unapologetic." Others pointed out that in an industry where so many relationships are kept hidden or sanitized, seeing two of Korea's brightest stars express themselves so openly was nothing short of revolutionary. But not all reactions were celebratory. The honest of their display, and the speed with which the marriage had been announced, sparked criticism from some quarters. A few industry commentators wondered aloud whether the couple had rushed into things, warning that such blazing love could burn out just as quickly as it had ignited. IU and Jong Suk remained silent on the chatter, offering no interviews in the days following the announcement. Instead, They were spotted leaving for what appeared to be a short honeymoon in Europe, slipping past the press with only a wave and a quick smile. During this period of absence, the story began to evolve from a surprise marriage into something more volatile. Reports emerged of both stars turning down high-profile projects in the wake of their wedding, an unusual move for actors at the peak of their careers. Rumors swirled about disagreements with management teams over future directions. Some speculated that the couple was planning a joint project. Others whispered about behind-the-scenes power struggles. A new piece of speculation seemed to pour more fuel on the fire. Social media buzzed with theories. Any of them contradictory, but all of them feeding the sense that this marriage was not a quiet, settled affair, it was a living force shaking the industry. And then came the leaks. Anonymous sources claimed to have overheard heated discussions between the couple and their agencies. Words like independence, control, and legacy began appearing in gossip columns, hinting that Jong Suk and IU were not content to simply enjoy married life in private. They were preparing to make moves that could alter the balance of power in Kbiz. What exactly those moves were remained a mystery. One thing was certain, this was no ordinary celebrity marriage. It was a union of two fiercely talented, fiercely independent individuals whose combined influence and unpredictability had the potential to ignite change far beyond their personal lives. By the time they returned from their honeymoon, the atmosphere in K Entertainment was electric. The couple's first public appearance as husband and wife was announced, a charity gala in Seoul. Tickets sold out within hours. Resale prices soaring as fans and industry insiders alike scrambled for the chance to see them together. It was at this event that the next chapter of their story began to take shape. A chapter that would show why explosive was the only word that could truly capture the essence of their marriage. Charity gala had all the hallmarks of a high-profile event: spotless white tablecloths, a red carpet lined with eager photographers, fresh roses drifting through the air, but everyone in attendance knew the real draw wasn't the cause being supported. It was the first public appearance of Jong Suk and IU as husband and wife. From the moment their car pulled up, the sphere shifted. The noise from the crowd swelled. Reporters' camera flashes fired like bursts of lightning, and fans pressed closer to the barricades just to catch a glimpse. When IU stepped out first, she wore a midnight blue gown that shimmered under the lights, her hair cascading in soft waves over her shoulders. Jong Suk followed, dressed in a classic black tuxedo, his hand instinctively reaching for hers as if it were the most natural thing in the world. Their entrance wasn't calculated for drama. It didn't need to be. There was already an undeniable electricity in the air. Walked the carpet together. They paused to wave, answer a few questions, and share small, candid smiles that looked far too genuine to be part of any PR play. Inside, however, the energy was different, quieter, but no less intense. At the center table, they greeted industry friends, nodded politely to executives, and yet seemed constantly tuned into one another. They weren't just appearing together, they were moving as a single force. Then came the moment that would cement the explosive label. Halfway through the evening, after a series of formal speeches, the host invited Jong Suk to the stage to say a few words on behalf of the attendees. No one expected IU to follow him up there. Did, hand in hand, stepping into the spotlight beside her husband. Jong Suk began with the usual pleasantries, thanking the organizers and guests, but quickly shifted into a tone that was unmistakably personal. The reason we're here tonight isn't just because we believe in the cause, he said, glancing at IU, but because it reflects what we want our life together to stand for: freedom, courage, and making choices without fear. The audience applauded. But he wasn't finished. Both spent years in this industry playing by the rules, followed schedules, smiled for cameras, kept our real feelings to ourselves. But marriage changes you. Love changes you. And now, we're ready to start doing things on our own terms. IU stepped closer to the microphone. It's calm but resolute. That means we'll be taking control of our careers, together. We'll choose the projects we want, when we want them. We'll work with people who respect our vision. And we'll make space for our personal life without apology. It was the kind of statement that any other industry might have passed without much notice. But in Kbiz, where agencies wield enormous power over their artists, and where personal lives are often buried under layers of image management, it was a declaration of independence. The room erupted in a mix of cheers and stunned murmurs. This wasn't just a married couple attending a gala, this was a power duo announcing they were rewriting the rules. The fallout was immediate. Overnight, entertainment media split into camps. Some hailed the couple as trailblazers, praising their courage to speak openly about taking control of their lives and careers. Others warned that defying the established system could backfire, costing them roles, endorsements, and influence. Jong Suk and IU were worried. They didn't show it. In the weeks that followed, they began making moves that backed up their words. Both turned down lucrative projects they'd been quietly offered before the wedding, roles that would have kept them locked into grueling filming schedules for most of the year. Instead, they announced their own joint production company that would allow them to develop films, music, and content without interference. The announcement sent shockwaves through the industry. Veteran actors reached out privately to congratulate them. Younger artists began whispering about following their example. Agencies, meanwhile, failed to assess the impact. If two of the biggest stars in Korea could break free and succeed, it might inspire others to challenge the system. With every step they took, the explosive nature of their marriage became clearer. It wasn't explosive because of scandal, or drama, or public fights. It was explosive because it was dismantling the quiet rules everyone had been following for decades. Their public appearances continued to fan the flames. At an international film festival, they arrived together on the red carpet, holding hands not as a publicity stunt, but as a simple fact of their relationship. Photographers from around the world captured images of them laughing between interviews, whispering to each other as they waited backstage, greeting fellow stars with the ease of a couple completely comfortable in their own skin. Of course, their openness also attracted criticism. Some fans who had idolized IU's pure single image struggled to accept her as part of a married couple. Others accused Jong Suk of changing her, as if her independence was a deviation from the persona they had built for her in their minds. But every time a wave of backlash came, people weathered it with quiet unity. They rarely responded directly to negative comments, preferring to let their actions, and their happiness, speak for themselves. And happiness, by all accounts, was exactly what they had. In a rare joint interview months later, they spoke candidly about the early days of their relationship, feeling that they had first confessed their feelings to each other years before, but had chosen to wait until they were both ready to face the public together. "We didn't want our love to be something we had to hide," IU said. "We wanted it to be something we could grow openly." Suk added, "Explosive doesn't have to mean destructive. For us, it means passionate, alive, willing to settle for less than what we believe in." Their marriage continued to inspire both admiration and debate. But one thing was certain, they had changed the landscape of celebrity relationships in Korea. Where others kept love behind locked doors, they had thrown those doors open, not carelessly, but with deliberate intent. By the end of the year, the production company had already greenlit 2 projects, a film directed by an up-and-coming female filmmaker and a music initiative to support independent artists. Both were fully funded without outside interference, a testament to the financial and creative freedom they had carved out for themselves. In the closing months, as they stood together on stage at an awards ceremony, Jong Suk presenting IU with an honor for her latest album, the applause was thunderous. It wasn't just for her artistry, but for the journey they had taken, risks they had embraced, and the way they had stood side by side through it all. The explosive marriage that shook Kbiz hadn't burned out. If anything, it was still burning, bright, and unafraid. And as they left the stage that night, hand in hand, it was clear that for Jong Suk and IU, the story was far from over. This wasn't just a marriage. It was a movement. Thank you for joining Red Carpet Revealed in uncovering the journey of a couple whose love has not only captured hearts but challenged an entire industry. Until the next big story breaks, see you soon.